So, I will start. Uh, Dear colleagues, I just wanted to inform you that we have raised in any other business the question of investigation of the sabotage of Nord Stream 1 and 2, and we draw attention of our colleagues in the Security Council to the fact that the so-called national investigations conducted by Sweden, Germany and Denmark are not moving forward. In fact, what we see is just moving around in circles, some kind of pretension that Russia is aware of what's happening, which is totally false. You know that we distributed a document in the Security Council, the compilation of the letters that we exchanged with the authorities of Germany, Sweden and Denmark. There were also certain awkward acknowledgements, notably by Swedish Procurator General, that Russia is not aware of any details of the investigation, and that's absolutely falls in the line of what we claim in the Security Council. We stressed that this situation is absolutely intolerable for my country, that my country will do its best to pursue this cause, and we will seek international investigation and punishment of those who are behind this crime. We think that this is absolutely inadmissible, that perpetrators of such heinous crime, which directly affects international peace and security, are not yet identified and prosecuted. That was, in a nutshell, what we said during the consultation. Yes? Yeah.
Sorry, you said you'll seek an international investigation. Does that mean, are you planning to put forward a UN resolution to do this? How will you do that?
We recall the recent vote in the Security Council when 12 of our colleagues abstained. So we are now thinking about how we would pursue this course. Nothing is excluded in this regard. We just took note of the fact that during the deliberations in the Security Council, there was a total unanimity that the national investigations, which were portrayed as something that will bring about the truth about what happened, that these national investigations should be accelerated and that the Security Council should be briefed about it. It hasn't happened after 3 months, and what we see is only deliberate attempts to mislead the investigation. Certain versions that I don't even want to comment because each of them is more absurd than the previous one. It's absolutely clear that there is a state actor behind this sabotage, and all the experts, serious experts, I think, are unanimous about this.
So what are the, given, as you just mentioned previously, you've tried at the Security Council, what other options do you have for trying to get an international investigation?
One of the options I used to date, we just continue to raise this issue in the Security Council. We continue to say that we are not satisfied. It means that, it implies that we have certain other ways to deal with this situation and certain options in our pocket.
The United States and other NATO member states are considering some kind of agreement and proposal similar to the Israeli model with Ukraine. What are your thoughts on that? And if that happens, would you think that NATO member states are a party to the war?
It's very difficult and maybe inappropriate for me to comment what's happening between NATO countries and its puppet Ukraine. I think they have enough of channels to do it themselves. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Ambassador Stefano Caravoce, New York. Because recently there was the explosion on the dam and the Ukraine accused Russia. Now, could it be a wise proposal to say, you know, the investigation, the UN investigation, should be done for both at the same time?
Well, I don't think we are against any investigations that would lead to establishing the truth, especially when Nord Stream pipeline is concerned. As for the Kakhovka situation, I think it's totally different, and there are a lot of evidence which is really very difficult to deny, pointing to the Ukrainian responsibility for it. And I think that with the pace of day, this evidence only multiplies. It's absolutely clear right now that it was profitable for Ukraine to do this act of sabotage for the interests of the so-called counteroffensive. And I don't think that there is a serious need of any investigation in this regard at this point.
So, I mean,
Okay.
so you are actually saying that you will be okay with an investigation, UN investigation about what happened at the time?
I'm not saying that I will be that we will be okay putting at the same level the two events and saying that investigation of both of them are as necessary as the other one. I would say that as for the Nord Stream, it's absolutely clear that this is an act of international sabotage that happened in international waters, and it's absolutely clear that there are a lot of factors that are on the surface, and they should be analyzed by international experts to come to an obvious conclusion, obvious to us, but maybe not too obvious to some others. As for the Kakhovka, I think this is absolutely a different situation. And again, it's very easy to analyze, and I think even Ukrainians right now have understood that they have made a lot of mistakes by planning this attack and by performing this attack. They have raised the level of water, for example, in the rivers that are above there to make the pressure excessive and to really help this barrier to break. And I think this was absolutely clearly proven, and it's very difficult to refute it. So I don't think that there is a need for any investigation in this regard. It's absolutely clear to everybody.
Ambassador, on
Yeah.
Zaporizhzhia, the IAEA chief is there now, and he has spoken with Russian officials. I think it was in April. What do you think the status is of some kind of a, he's not asking for a safety zone, but some kind of guarantees of safety around the plant?
I think he was here in Security Council while
yes, also.
I was on vacation, and I think he was absolutely clear in formulating the points that he wanted from everybody to support. I think that everybody more or less supported what he was saying, and that includes, of course, the monitoring of the attacks at the Zaporizhzhia power plant, which are, of course, conducted by the Ukrainian side. So we have very high hopes that the IAEA now will have more open hands in admitting the obvious. Okay?
Ambassador, I have one question regarding Nord Stream. We know what the vote was in the Security Council, but since then, do you think there have been any countries on the Council that have perhaps now would support you? And in general, around the world, in terms of countries, do you find that more and more countries are supporting your call for an investigation or not?
We feel that more and more countries understand of what's happening now in terms of this campaign to really to divert the attention of international community to certain versions that have absolutely no ground behind them, to absurd versions. And this makes a lot of our partners, we feel it, understand clearly that those who are really behind this attack are doing everything that they can to mislead possible international investigation and to create muddy waters for it to proceed. Okay? Thank you very much.